What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Basketball Wives Orlando. This is season 1, episode 6, and the episode is titled You've Been Served. So, we first start off with Mackenzie and Rashad. They are in Minnesota. She's saying all these great things about their relationship. And baby, she can say all that she wants to, but I'm not believing it. Okay? She is making it seem like Rashad is the greatest thing since ice cream, and he really ain't. Now, according to Mackenzie, her relationship with Dwayne was of public knowledge, and I'm just like, girl, when? I mean, I guess they must have posted each other's photos on social media, and that's what made everything public knowledge. But, with this relationship with Rashad, everything's a damn secret. Yeah, because you were sneaking around with that lady, fiance. That's why it was always a secret. But nonetheless, these two are trying to show that they really have this loving relationship on screen, and I don't even think they're together anymore in real life. So we see how long that lasted. So we see Nikki, and she says that she's planning a little sleepover for the girls, but she doesn't want any type of drama. Girl, you should already know with these ladies, you're going to get drama. So we go on over to Morgan, and she's with her mom, and they talk about how Morgan has been getting into it with, all the cast members on this show. Now, here's the thing that I noticed. They have now started bleeping out Eric's name on the show. Previously, on episode 1 through 5, I feel like we heard Eric's name, but now they are bleeping it out. Now, she wants to talk about how she always had this idea of having this two-parent household for her children. However, that's not what she got. And honestly, you're not going to get that because these players are on the road so much. They're here, there, everywhere. And if y'all ever pay attention to who even goes to the games, yes, the wives may attend the games, the girlfriends may attend the games, but them damn kids don't even be there. Okay? Because they have school in the morning. They have other activities going on. So there's a lot of times when I feel like being an NBA wife and, having kids by NBA players, you are definitely going to be a single mom for a certain part of the year just because they are so busy. But nonetheless, they talk about how she had abandonment issues and she's afraid that because of that, she doesn't want her kids to have abandonment issues because their dad hasn't been as involved as he should be. And honestly, that's super sad. That's super sad that this man, he decided to move on with his life, start a new family from what I've heard, and completely abandon those kids that he originally had. But men love to do that. So Morgan goes on to let us know, as well as her mom, that back in the day, she basically blamed her mom for why her dad wasn't around. Come to find out, her mom got into a relationship with this man. She got pregnant. And come to find out, this man had a whole nother family. AKA, she was technically probably a side piece, but she had no knowledge of it. Okay? And I feel really bad for her because there's a lot of women who get into those type of situations where you don't know that you're the side piece until you tell this man, oh yeah, I'm having a baby, and then he want to spring the fact that he got a family on you. Nonetheless, she did decide that she was going to go through with the pregnancy. She was actually going to put Morgan up for adoption, but she couldn't, give her away once she had her. So she decided to just go ahead and raise her as a single parent. Now, growing up, Morgan felt some type of way, probably because everybody around her had their dads around and hers was not around. So she would lash out at her mom about it. Now, one thing that I will say that I appreciate about this scene is the fact that Morgan is actually taking accountability for her actions towards her mother. Because, again, women do not sign up to be single mothers. I promise you, the majority of them do not. So they get the short end of the stick. They have to raise these kids on their own. And then the kids, they want to lash out at the parent that stuck around. Which is crazy, but it happens. So Morgan, she actually apologizes to her mom for some messed up things that she said. Basically telling her mama that she can't keep a man around because she couldn't keep her daddy around. And I'm just like, woo, yeah, I can definitely see Morgan having a mouth on her. I'm just saying, I can totally see it. And now that she is in a messed up situation with her ex-husband, now she sees how trifling men can be, and now she has given her mama so much grace. You know what I'm saying? Because now you see what your mama was going through. A lot of times we fail to realize that our parents shield us from a lot. And then once you become an adult and realize how messed up situations can be, I think that you do tend to give your parents a little bit more grace, depending on what the situation is. But yeah, like I said, that was pretty cool to see. Let's go ahead and move on. So Neek and Milan, they're hanging out, and Milan, she thinks that her sister stole her stuff. Y'all, I'm sorry, but Milan don't make no fucking sense to me. Straight up, she doesn't make any fucking sense. Your sisters came to visit you for what, a week or two? They stole a Chanel bag and a watch that, according to you, cost $150,000. I'm not understanding. I'm really not understanding how you did not hop on a flight. You should have hopped on a flight to Cincinnati and rode up on your sisters. I'm not understanding how you talking about some. You sat there and cried. Bitch, we ain't crying. We going to go talk to this 17-year-old and a 13-year-old. Because what y'all will not do is play with me, not in that way. Absolutely not. And then what made matters worse, at least for me, is I'm just like, wait a second, Milan. Like, can we have a real conversation? Because it sounds like your sisters is living in the fucking hood, okay? It sounds like your sisters are still in the hood, but now you on. And I'm pretty sure there's some resentment there. Those girls probably feel like you just left them. You out here living your best life. You got Chanel bags. You got $150,000 watches. I can't remember what kind of car that she was driving when we saw her driving, but it was something expensive. Girl, you are living a life of luxury, and your sister's got to deal with your trifling ass mama. So I can absolutely see them lashing out, being like, it's not like she gonna miss it. So they took your shit. Girl. Like, I'm not sure if I'm even supposed to be sad for Milan in this situation, because at the end of the day, like I said, you have this whole luxury lifestyle. Your little sisters are crying out for help, and all you did was let them spend a week with you, and then you sit there right back home. You know what? Family dynamics. I get it. It's not your responsibility to raise your little sisters. However, if you know the situation is messed up, you should step in. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna move on from that. So, we also learned that when it comes to Neek, she has an open conversation about how she is willing to forgive Morgan. You know, she is willing to have a conversation with her. She has this forgiving heart. And Nick honestly just wants to move on. And it seems like she's the type of girl who doesn't like drama. I mean, if drama comes to her, she'll definitely engage. But she just want to have fun. Okay? And Mulan, she is still on the I Hate Danielle train. Okay? Because according to her, she saw a live that Nikki and Danielle did, and they were laughing about the fact that Mulan got punched. Well, girl, you did not want to reconcile with Danielle. So, all bets are off, okay? Now I don't feel bad that you got popped in the face, because at the end of the day, you ain't my friend. You're not trying to be my friend again. So, it is what it is. And honestly, it was crazy to me that she's like, I'm more mad at Danielle than I am at Nikki, because me and Nikki aren't even that close. And I'm like, girl, you and Danielle aren't close. Y'all played basketball one time with each other. Y'all were not besties, okay? So, according to Milan, she's going to treat them accordingly when it comes to Nikki's sleepover. Now, we see Danielle, and she is with a trainer because she is really trying to get back into basketball. Now, honestly, y'all, I like this scene because I want to see her do something else besides talk about Rashad or Mackenzie, okay? And one thing that I will say is that I feel like this scene was real as far as like her getting the trainer and honestly practicing, because she was there with like real gym clothes on. Like, what's it called? A tank top? I was about to say a wife beater. A big tank top, some shorts, no makeup on. She was really there to put in some work to practice. Unlike whenever we see Mulan and she's working out or she's at the gym, I'm not even about to go there. But you know what Mulan be looking like, okay? Nonetheless, we're going to move on over to Mackenzie and Rashad because they are on a date and she feels like their relationship is just oh so special. And he says that, they don't have a title, for one. Then says that if he had a side piece, he would just tell her. And in the confessional, Mackenzie says, well, he had side chicks when he was with Danielle because he wasn't happy. That's not the case here because we are happy. Girl, you're stupid. Like, how dumb do you have to be? The reason why he had side chicks when he was with Danielle was because he was being a cheater, he was being sneaky, he was a liar. You see how those things occurred? Because those side chicks were women that Danielle did not know about, okay? The reason why he's telling you that he would tell you that there's a side chick involved is because he feels like you and him ain't even in a real fucking relationship, okay? Y'all are not really together. Like, this man had the audacity to talk about how Mackenzie cares so much about him, and he never said that he cared about her. Then at the end of the day, he tells her, yeah, so we have an understanding. I'm like, Mackenzie, you are a plumb fool, okay? Straight up foolish. There is no excuse for this. Girl, you out here looking stupid. Straight up. Now, we see Mulan and Neek hanging out again, right? And we learned that, unfortunately, Dwayne's brother Raheem was murdered at his album release party. It was a terrible situation. Come to find out, there were people upset because they had to pay to get into the venue. And it was actually a woman who shot this man. And what's crazy is that this woman was talking crazy to Neek and Dwayne about how she was going to, do this and do that. And fortunately, Neek's mom was there, and she had to kind of try to defuse the situation and pull Neek away from this because you already know Neek was ready to fight this girl. And I'm just like, this could have been very, very bad, okay? More than one person could have gotten hurt. Like, that is a crazy situation to be in, for sure. So then, Mulan, she talks about how she had found out the way her brother had got shot, and it's just a lot. So they could bond over the fact that they had people close to them, unfortunately, be murdered. And the whole situation is just really sad. So we actually see this scene of Morgan and her daughter next. Her daughter seems to be a very sweet little girl. Morgan is doing her hair, and they talk about what her extracurricular activities will be. She's going to be doing gymnastics, and her mom wants her to try another sport. And the thing about it is that Morgan, she says that she was her mom's problem child, right? And it was because her dad wasn't around, so she acted out when she was a teenager. And now she's, fearing that her children may do the same thing. And I get it, that's a valid thing to fear. But we got to remember, now we have so many more tools to help kids cope with different things that I think her kids will be okay. Because I remember her mentioning how I believe this child that she's talking to, she's in therapy, she's putting her in extracurricular activities. The sad part is that the little girl, she is getting used to her dad not being around, unfortunately. But I feel like as long as this little girl feels supported and she's doing lots of activities and involved with things, I think she'll be all right. Now, moving forward, we see Ashley. She talks to her husband or whatever. They're in the car, and basically, they talk about how this event will probably be dramatic. She told him to basically wait around for 45 minutes and then come and get her because he was dropping her off to Nikki's house. Now, speaking of Nikki, we get to the event, and at first things were going cool. You know what I mean? Then here comes the dramatic music when Morgan and Danielle showed up. Now, Morgan, she's pissed off because she has just been served by her ex because he wants to lower his child support payments, and he also does not want to pay for the kids' trust funds. I'm sorry, but I am so sick of these men going to court just so they can lower some payments just because they are not involved with their kids. Like, you are already not involved, okay? You paying some child support is honestly you doing the bare minimum. But nonetheless, Morgan is convinced that Ashley is the one who did it. She said that nobody knows her address, and she thinks that Ashley is the one who, told Eric. So when they get there or whatever, they play this game. And I want to say that Danny, she had answered one question about it being big of her to be in the same room as Mackenzie. Nikki, she talks about how, not Nikki, it was Neek. She talks about how, she's been overthinking things, especially when it comes to Dwayne and everything that's happened with his brother. And, she actually begins to cry. Now, you know what annoyed me in this scene? Mackenzie. Mackenzie annoyed me because she just bum rushed her way over there just so that she can prove, I guess, that she is Neek's friend and that they're in a good place, because she went over there to go hug on her. And I'm just like, could you please back up? Like, I feel like you're laying it on thick. I believe that Morgan, even though her and Neek got into it, she did say some really nice words of how, like, everyone's there to support her and Dwayne. Morgan, she reads a question, and it's for someone to openly vent to the group or whatever, and she chooses Ashley. So Ashley, instead of her talking about what's really going on in her life, she decided to be messy and take the messy route and direct it towards Morgan. And she's like, where did you get the idea that I brought women around? Girl, why didn't you have this conversation sooner? We are 6 episodes in. This girl has mentioned you bringing women around since episode 1. Actually, since y'all filmed that pilot a year ago. How are you just now questioning where Morgan got that from? Are you serious right now? Nonetheless, this opens up a can of worms, okay? Because now Morgan, she wants to know, why did you give up my address? And baby, she's adamant about it, to the point where security has to step in. Now Morgan is like, I will basically off you for my kids, and it's getting real crazy. So Danielle, she's like, listen, Ashley, why did you even insert yourself into that situation, considering you're married yourself? Okay, you have a ring on your finger. If anything, your stance, it should be different. And I agree. If you are married, usually, or maybe it's because I've been watching Married to Medicine, like, you are a married person, and you do want to see other couples make it to the other side of things on a good foot. But it sounds like Ashley had other plans, okay? Nonetheless, at that point, Megan, she ends up giving the little girl power award that Nikki had to Danny, right? She gives it to Danielle. And here comes Milan hating. And I'm like, Milan, what is this? So Milan, she comes at Danielle. She feels like she's fake because she was laughing with Nikki. Again, you didn't want to be her friend, so she don't owe you anything. What are you talking about, Milan? Do you want her to, like, grovel at your feet and, like, chase you around to be your friend? She's not hurting to be your friend. Yo bad. So at this point, the girls is getting rowdy because Milan, she over here going off. So Danny, she ready to, do whatever if it goes there. We see Morgan, she throws something. It looked like it almost hit a security guard. They put Morgan and Danny out. And baby, here goes Ashley. She turned into a whole white woman, calling the police about Morgan. She's like, yeah, this woman, she's threatened to kill me. Her name is such and such. We're at this Airbnb, giving all the information. It was a hot mess. Like, girl, you know that Morgan was not actually about to do anything, especially with all those security guards around. Stop playing. But y'all, that was the episode. Are y'all team Danielle, team Milan. What do y'all think about that situation with Milan and her sisters? Yeah, just let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.